Man, what they do, man. It's your boy TJ Too Smooth, Trader One, man. And right now, we're coming at y'all with a little bit of a reaction because the world has finally saw that Donald Trump has become president. This is now like new news, okay? And he won by a landslide. If you can check this out right here, y'all, if you can see it with your own two eyes, 312 electoral votes, just an absolute landslide. He only needs 270 to win. And man, the Republicans really, really showed out for this election and came out to the polls and voted. And they made sure that their voice was heard. I hope that this election that you made sure your voice was heard. Now, interesting things going on in the streets because we've got our guy, and I'm going to call him our guy, Jay Walk. I don't know his political affiliation. It's kind of obvious because he's wearing a Make America Great Again hat, but who knows? Maybe he's trolling. I don't know whatever he stands for, but he went out into the liberal streets of DC and he started asking how people feel about Donald Trump winning. And when I say these responses are interesting, they are interesting to say the least. So let's get into it.
Can I ask you guys what you think of Trump winning last night?
Disgusting.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sad.
Can we ask you what you think of Trump's victory?
No.
Speechless. It's a tragedy for me.
Hey guys, we are in liberal Washington.
Hold on. Did he say it was a tragedy? Come on, kids.
Speechless.
He said it was a tragedy. Do we know what the word tragedy means? Come on, guy. Let's look up that word. And by the way, I just wanted to say this as well. I knew Donald Trump was going to win. I don't know if I said this at first, but I'll say it now. I said it on my TikTok. I made this video right after there was an attempt on our president's life. And I said, you know what? This guy is going to be president again. He has become the people's champ. There was bloodshed in this moment. He stood up victorious, holding his fist in the air, and he said, fight. This guy's going to win again. I knew that. So some people acting surprised. You shouldn't. You got to see the way that the world is moving in a certain direction and understand that that's the pattern. That's what's going to happen. Don't even kid yourself and think that, things are going to change. I literally said it. Donald Trump's going to win by a landslide and there's nothing you can do about it. I said that in my TikTok. Check out my TikTok. It's TJ Too Smooth. I got it right here on the screen. And that is why he won by a landslide. Not because, honestly, and it's not because there was an attempt on his life that he won. But within that moment, he did become the people's champ. And that was turning point, pivotal point for a lot of people in their decision. Now, back to Mr. Tragedy here. Do we understand what the word tragedy means? So by definition, tragedy means an event causing great suffering, destruction, distress, such as a serious accident, a crime, or natural catastrophe. Come on. Donald Trump winning as president is not a natural disaster. This is not a catastrophe. This is not a crime. Nobody died by him becoming president. Like, come on. Can we start using our words the right way? I bet this guy says literally all the time. Literally. Like, come on. Let's get our vernacular up just a bit.
Speechless. It's a tragedy for me.
Hey guys, we are in liberal Washington, D.C. today, the day after the election. Trump won in a landslide last night. We're asking all these liberal D.C. residents what they think about Trump's victory. Let's see what they have to say.
Devastated.
Why are you devastated?
Because I think he's not going to be the best leader for this country.
Devastated. She's devastated. These are some very emotional responses from people. Devastated. It's a tragedy. Like they're feeling it in their chest. Wow. They're emotionally tied to that outcome for sure.
Country.
Were you surprised? Did you think Kamala was going to win?
No, I wasn't surprised. No, I'm devastated, but unsurprised.
You're lying. You thought that Kamala Harris was going to win, and that is why you are devastated. Devastation means that you're crushed. So you're saying you had preemptive devastation. You knew that Donald Trump would win and you're still devastated by the outcome? That's a lie. You thought Kamala Harris was going to win. Don't do that. Don't lie.
What's your message to all the Trump supporters that voted for him?
You're gonna get what you deserve, honestly.
Hold up. What does that mean?
Trump supporters that voted for him.
You're gonna get what you deserve.
Hold on. What does that mean? So if you voted for Donald Trump, you're going to get what you deserve. So what do people who voted for Donald Trump deserve? We're waiting. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Drewski voice? People who voted for Donald Trump are going to get what they deserve? What does that mean? What are you trying to say? Because that sounds like a threat. Where I'm from, anybody, if somebody tell you you're gonna get what you deserve, you're gonna get yours. I'm gonna get you. That sound like you plotting on me, bro. It sound like you plotting on me. It sounds like you want to fade. It sounds like violence. And I don't like the sound of that.
Honestly.
Can't stand Trump. The man has no manners, no decorum. Yeah, very, very sad.
I don't understand Trump. The man has no manners, no decorum. He does not speak in a vernacular such as mine. She seems very, very uppity, kind of upper class, a white woman, and she's throwing it in your face.
Did you think Kamala was going to win? Were you confident going into it?
Not completely, but hopeful, very hopeful.
So what I'm getting is that the general idea was that they knew that Donald Trump was going to win, but they just had some slither of hope that Kamala Harris would like squeeze out a win. That's basically what it sounds like. Like they knew she wasn't going to win, but they were hoping that she would. And I think that's why, you get let down when you expect certain outcomes. If you have expectations, it's kind of like it's similar to sports betting. If you've done your research and you realize that the plays that you picked were well within reason, logical, and that they made sense for the outcome, then detach from the outcome. You shouldn't be betting money that you're going to lose anyway, or that you are afraid to lose anyway, right? So it's the same thing with this. You're placing your bid in for one candidate to win, and you're hoping that they win. But what you should do is place that bid in for that candidate to win, and then whatever happens, happens. You have to be able to adapt to the outcome regardless, right? But then again, they are asking these people how they feel. So let's listen to how she feels.
What do you think is going to happen over the next 4 years?
I think the country is going to become much more constrained in terms of females' health rights. I think books.
What does that even mean? I think the country's going to be, I know exactly what she's trying to say. Actually, what she's trying to say is that women can't have abortions. Women are not free to have abortions in all states. So women's health rights have been stripped away. No, ma'am, that's not true. Listen, in Florida, after 6 weeks of pregnancy, you can't have an abortion. Donald Trump himself said that it's up to the state that you live in. It's up to the state you live in. Like you live in the state of DC. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Washington, DC. In Washington, DC, no parental consent. You don't need permission from your parent or guardian to get an abortion. In Washington, D.C., there's no waiting period. You can get an abortion immediately after making the appointment. In Washington, D.C., you can abort mission. There's no limit on the pregnancy stage. Abortion is legal at all stages of the pregnancy and protections for healthcare professionals. So what that means is the district prohibits employment discrimination against healthcare professionals who perform abortions or sterilization processes. So basically what they're saying is if the doctor performs an abortion, no one can discriminate against them. Why would someone discriminate against a doctor who did an abortion? Because that doctor doesn't have a problem killing a fetus. So you got to understand the mindset. And also, lady, you live in a state where it's okay to get an abortion whenever you want. And Donald Trump has already said that he doesn't support a federal abortion ban. He said it out of his own mouth. It's all over his Twitter. Check it out. What he said is this: everyone knows that I would not support a federal abortion ban under any circumstances. And I would, in fact, veto it because it is up to the states to decide based on the will of their voters. It is the will of the people. It's the will of the people. Like Ronald Reagan before me, I fully support the 3 exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. So Donald Trump is saying that if you need this surgery because of rape or because of familial incest, or if the child is a threat to the mother's life, then you can have that. He's totally in alignment with that. But all in all, it's not up to him. It is up to the state you live in. So women's health rights are not being constricted within the country. Okay. Your health rights are the same. What you're talking about is the right to kill a baby. And in your state, you can do it whenever you want. So let's not do that. It's up to the state. It's not up to Donald Trump. Let's stop it.
In kids' libraries that talk, in books in kids' libraries that talk, tackle topics like transgenderism, whatever, are going to even be more restrained. I think it's just going to be a big tightening of society.
Okay.
Good.
And that's a bad thing, you think, like kids not having access to books about transgenderism?
Yeah, I mean, it's life, real life. They just want to pretend that everybody's binary.
Okay. So she said that there's going to be a tightening of society. I don't think that's a bad thing. What do you mean? Allow society to have some sort of structure. Allow society to have some sort of tightness on it. Why has everything got to be so loose? Like, why does everyone have to be loose with their sexuality? Why are we teaching children? So you're talking about books being removed from schools that teach children about transgenderism. Why do children need to know that? Why does the impressionable mind of a child have to be manipulated by the thoughts of transgenderism before they're old enough to make their own decisions? That's why he's like, and do you think that that's a bad thing? That children don't have access to books about transgenderism? And here's another strange thing. This woman is well within her 60s. She is well within her 60s. Doesn't a book about transgenderism go against what you were taught as a kid? Doesn't that go against the values that you learned from your parents? I don't know, man. The rabbit hole goes deep on this thing.
They're not.
I'm very happy for that.
You're very happy? Why are you happy?
Because America is going to be great again.
You think he's going to make America great again?
Yes.
Speechless. Speechless. It's a tragedy for me.
Oh, here goes Mr. Tragedy.
Tragedy?
It really is. Yeah.
What do you think this country's going to be like over the next 4 years?
I'm scared to see how it's going to turn out. I think we're going to descend further.
Bro, why? Hold on, man. Why are some of these responses so dramatic? Right? I'm scared for how it's going to turn out. He's saying I'm scared. I'm afraid. This is a tragedy. Our country's going to be worse. Like, what are we talking? Like, why is there such an emotional response to this? Let's just listen, I guess, because what in the world?
We're stray further from democracy than we have in the past. I think that our economy is going to end up far worse than anything that could have been perceived under Kamala.
What is your...
Okay, more emotional lies. Did you guys see what happened to the stock market after Donald Trump got into presidency, after Donald Trump was announced president, did you guys see what happened to Bitcoin? Bitcoin shot up to $75,000 a coin, previously at $63,000 a coin. All of the altcoins next to it just rising, rising, rising. S&P 500 rising, rising, rising. When the feds start to cut the interest rates down and people can buy cars again, oh my goodness, I keep hitting my microphone. People start buying cars again at an affordable rate. People start buying homes again at an affordable rate. Dividend stocks start to get money flooded into them because the return is going to be higher on those. What's going to happen then? Big tech stocks are through the roof. What do you mean the economy is going to be worse than anything that we could perceive under Kamala? Why? Where's your proof of that? Is there no proof? I don't believe there's any proof to a lot of these statements. I think these people are just emotionally charged. And when you speak from a place of emotion and emotionality and you're saying, I'm devastated. I'm devastated. I'm not surprised, but I'm devastated. And when you're saying things like, "Oh, it's a tragedy," and I'm afraid for how it's going to turn out. When you're saying stuff like that, there's no proof behind it. Like there's no truth in it. It's just how you feel. So, man, these are some extremely emotional responses that we're watching here.
Our economy is going to end up far worse than anything that could have been perceived under Kamala.
What is your response to Trump winning last night?
Oh, my response is,
I was waiting to see if there was going to be a black woman in this. You know, it is DC, and it's refreshing to see her.
Sadness, disappointment, but I think our country should have done more to make sure someone like that didn't get reelected.
Hold on. She said, I think our country should have done more to make sure that someone like that didn't get. Our country did everything within its power to try and make sure Donald Trump did not get elected again. Donald Trump was charged with felonies, convicted of felonies. Donald Trump was impeached. They did every single thing that they knew to do to try and make sure that he didn't get elected again. There was an attempt made on his life. They did everything that they could. It just didn't work out. So I don't know, sweetheart. I think the country did try everything possible to make sure he didn't get elected again. It just didn't pan out.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think this country is going to be like over the next 4 years under Trump?
I have no real idea. I felt like under him, the first time it was crazy because we had COVID. This time it'll be our first time really seeing how it pans out genuinely with the Trump presidency, with businesses open and trying to operate and things like that. So I have no idea, but I'm hopeful, to be honest.
Hopeful.
Yeah.
Okay. See, that was actually the most logical response that I've heard so far. That was the most logical response that I've heard. She said, listen, I'm a little disappointed, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for the future. This is the first time that we actually get to see a Donald Trump presidency in full. There was COVID last time. So now we get a chance to see what he can really do. You know, I'm hopeful. I like that. There's still hope within this woman. I like that. There's no emotional, fearful response coming from her.
Yeah.
Were you confident that Kamala could win it? Did you think she was going to win?
And I had a lot of doubts. I didn't like her running mate, and I really believe she should have used a running mate that reflected, other identities, like someone in another race or sexuality. And
I think that honestly, what she's trying to say is that they should have picked a gay candidate to be her running mate, but I think that would have been a mistake because everyone in America that was trying to protect traditional values already went out and voted for Donald Trump because Kamala Harris was pushing for the whole transgender surgeries for inmates and stuff. So she already represented what she's talking about. She's saying that Kamala Harris's running mate should have had a different race, been more diverse, but Kamala Harris is the diversity. She is the different race. She's also a woman. She's a female candidate. That is a lot of diversity for America to get behind. Now, to have a white male running mate for her was to appeal to the older white voter. And that was a good balance. So I actually disagree with her there. I disagree with that.
I think that weakened the campaign, to be honest.
Do you think like
I don't think it weakened the campaign for her to have a white male running mate at all.
Sexuality, and I think that weakened the campaign, to be honest.
do you think like Tim Walz being like a white guy was an issue for her?
Yeah, I felt like a kind of like a Joe Biden stand-in and appealing to like that older demographic, but using someone younger, someone black or female or gay would have been, I think, a very powerful statement.
I think that if she used someone younger, someone female, someone black, someone gay, that it would have been a whole lot more than just 312 electoral votes. I think it would have been even more of a landslide if they did that. So I don't think she thought about that one much.
Do you have a message to all the Trump supporters that voted for him? If you could tell them one thing.
Well, educate yourselves.
Aw, what is that? Hold on now. What do you mean aw? Aw, do you have a message for anyone that voted for Donald Trump? Aw. What do you mean aw? What are you trying to say? We don't need your sympathy. Listen, America that voted for Donald Trump does not need your sympathy or empathy, ma'am.
Although,
If you could tell them one thing.
well, educate yourselves. Although, as an American, I do respect their right to vote for Trump, to be honest. And I lived in a I lived in a red state for a while. A lot of them are undereducated, and a lot of them are just simply don't have the privilege of education, good education.
Wow. So basically she's saying that people who voted for Donald Trump are too stupid to realize that he was a bad decision. That's what she just told you. She said that I used to live in the Midwest. Let's just say she said Chicago. I used to live in Chicago, and the people out there don't have the privilege of good education. So that's educate yourself. That's a pretty pompous standpoint. That's a pretty arrogant way to be. Don't say that people who voted for Donald Trump have no education or no formal education simply because they didn't vote for the person that you voted for, or they didn't vote for who you liked them to have voted for. That's an insult. That's an insult. Don't say that. The truth is, I actually know very well-educated people who have voted for Donald Trump. As a matter of fact, I know an extremely wealthy, well-educated family man whose wife is also well-educated, whose children are also well-educated, and he voted for Donald Trump. He's got more money than you and I could think about. And he voted for Donald Trump. His wife voted for Donald Trump as well. So let's not play that card. That was an insult. And by the way, she just said something a little emotionally charged. So did the first lady that said that she was devastated but not surprised. She said, "You're going to get what you deserve. You're going to get what you deserve." Yeah. Educate yourself. I know you're not privy to proper education and you don't have the privilege of knowing as much as I know, but educate yourself. These people have been arrogant, emotional, and overall, these responses are just very, very sad to watch because it's not a whole lot of logic streaming from them.
Just simply don't have the privilege of education, good education.
Just sick.
Oh, you think it's going to be a bad thing next 4 years?
Oh my God, it's a nightmare.
I think this lady's projecting. She seems a bit sick herself, and look at the way she's backing away from the microphone as if someone's holding a weapon in her face.
What's your message to all the Trump supporters that voted for him?
Fucking idiots, she said. Whoa.
What's your reaction to Trump winning last night?
Very happy.
There we go.
Happy. Okay. Awesome. The first one we've heard. Can we ask you guys your reaction to Trump winning last night? What do you guys think of the victory?
Best victory. We are so
We're
happy.
really happy, and we're so thankful. And now
We're
we
so
trust our
thankful.
country way
Trust
more.
our country.
Did you guys think, were you confident going into it that he would win?
No, not confident at all.
You thought they were going to try to steal it? Or?
Keep us, yeah.
So you know what's interesting? For the Kamala Harris supporters, they were saying that they weren't confident that she would win. And then for the Donald Trump supporters, they're also saying, hey, we weren't confident that he would win. That's actually a very interesting standpoint because I believed that he would win from the jump. I knew he would win. I should have put money on this. There were people betting on the outcome, putting wagers up on the outcome of the election. I should have done that because I knew I had such conviction that he would win, that it would be a landslide. And it actually was.
I didn't think they were gonna let him win.
Okay. You guys are the second people out here. We've talked to a lot of people. Everyone is very sad today. Are you guys from DC?
No, Israeli.
Israeli, okay. Can we ask you what you think of Trump winning last night?
It's pretty great.
You think it's great?
Fan-fucking-tastic. Trump running the United States like a business.
Okay.
And it is what it is.
Is that good or?
It's a good thing. But I'm not even mad at it.
Okay.
You think the economy is going to be better if he runs it like a business?
Yeah.
Like, of course, the economy is going to be great. The economy is going to be great with Donald Trump in power. I feel that it is. I think that it is with everything that I've seen, all the projections that I've watched. The economy is going to be booming. The stock market's going to be booming. Of course, there will be a correction at some point, but the stock market's going to be booming throughout his presidency. And he's right. This brother is right. He said that Donald Trump runs America like a business. And Donald Trump is in the business of making money. And if you want to make a lot of money off of this presidency, go look into stocks, look into dividend stocks, look into cryptocurrency, learn more about it, learn about the cycles, learn about what coins are up next, learn about what coins ride the wave of other coins. All of this is going to be beneficial to you as an American because Donald Trump runs this thing like a business. So shout out to this brother. That is a great perspective.
He treated fair, you know what I mean? Treat people fairly.
Maybe we'll have more money.
More money, you know what I mean? More job opportunities for other people.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Jaywalk Journalism. That is indeed street journalism. And I think we learned a lot. We heard a lot. We learned that a lot of people think or feel within their hearts like this is just a bad decision. But they don't have any true logic behind it. There's no logic behind it. They're just talking about their feelings, right? How they feel, right? And honestly, man, I know that Donald Trump is a polarizing figure, right? He's the type of person that either you like him a lot or you don't, right? Either you agree with what he's saying or you completely disagree. He's either there's no gray area with Donald Trump. So I totally understand, how these people feel. I get it. I hear them. So anyway, it's your boy TJ Too Smooth, man. This was fun. We got some more coming y'all way, bro. Holla at me on TikTok if there's more videos like this that you think that I should react to, or if you find something interesting, talk about it in the comment section. Holla at me on Instagram, TJ Too Smooth with 2 H's on Instagram. Holla at me on Twitter, Trager1 on Twitter. Why do I keep hitting my microphone? It's because everything's new. Look, I'm hitting it again. Everything's new. This is a whole new setup for me. But anyway, subscribe to the channel, man. Let's get this thing going. Let's get this thing popping, man. It's my first ever video. Subscribe to the channel. Give it a thumbs up. Share it with somebody who needs to see it, man. It's your boy TJ Too Smooth. And I'll see y'all in the next one. We go.